We're going to have a little bit of fun right now before we get up off of here, Isaiah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So just like every other guest this season, can't just let you hop up in the ride, then hop up out the ride without having a little fun with you, revisit your dream style. So it's time for another installment of Who Got It? Let's get it. All right. So this is a slightly different version of the Who Got It segment. Usually we cover 3 cities or locations that my guests have lived in, and I ask you some questions about who got it between those 3 cities. But since you attended Mississippi State University, Tennessee State University, and Lipscomb University, we need to know who got it between the 3 schools. All right?
Yeah, I'm going to say.
No. Hold up.
Okay, my bad.
The question is not just generally who got it. Hold on. I got 6 topics for you.
All right.
You can be as long or as short-winded with the responses as you would like. All right. So we need to know who got it between Mississippi State, Tennessee State, and Lipscomb. I'm not going to ask who had the best band or where you might have had the deepest cultural experiences. Those might be obvious responses to many people watching. So we're going to go a little bit deeper than that. So who got it between Mississippi State, Tennessee State, and Lipscomb? Which school takes the most pride in its own heritage and history? Mississippi State, Tennessee State, or Lipscomb?
I'm going to say Tennessee State. Yeah, by and large. Mm-hmm. But I will say because it's a HBCU, and so my cultural experience was reflected within the experiences of others that attended. Whereas at Mississippi State, as a PWI, Lipscomb University, PWI, though it was a Christian faith base. So I think Lipscomb traditionally in the Church of Christ space, they are rooted in, that tradition. But I think by and large, in my experience at Tennessee State, they got it. You know what I mean?
Tennessee State got it as a school that has the most pride in its own heritage and history. All right. Mm-hmm. Next up, who got it? Mississippi State, Tennessee State, or Lipscomb? As a runner, which university experience offered you the greatest memories as an athlete?
Mississippi State, most definitely. I mean, you can't really beat competing at the SEC level, where you find yourself amidst some of the fastest, some of the most talented athletes in the nation. Mm-hmm. And so in doing that, it brings out the best in you. And so I think, MSU, they got it for sure.
Mississippi State, dope. Appreciate that. All right, next one. Who got it? Mississippi State, Tennessee State, or Lipscomb? At which school did you learn the most about yourself?
And this is a tough one because I feel like I learned different lessons at each school. But I would say some of the huge light bulb moments for me came at Mississippi State, where it was through the ministry of FCA where the Lord captured my heart at Mississippi State. It was also a context where I learned, like, man, a light bulb moment went off when I learned that, professional athletes make up of like 1% of all athletes. And the likelihood of me becoming a professional athlete, though not impossible, I mean, it was just a small percentage. And what I found there was a team meeting that we did where the coach, he was like, everybody that got a 3.0 or better, go on this side. Everybody got below a 3.0. And I tell you, the majority of the people that had below the 3.0 was my black brothers and brothers at that time, because I think it was just the men at that time that was in that context. Mm-hmm. And I looked over to my white peers and said, man, they not only want to be good athletes, but they want to be doctors. They want to be, and that was a light bulb moment for me where it's like, man, I cannot squander this opportunity that is presented to me and just being so singularly focused on the running or track aspect that I'm losing sight of the academic part of it. And man, from that point on, I just academic became a huge part of because at leading up to there, I was like, man, as long as I'm eligible, I'm good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm like, man, to be so narrow focused where I just want to be good at this one thing. Now, man, I want to pursue excellence in every part of my life.
Yeah.
And that was a huge turning point in my life.
Yeah, man. Thank you for that. You wasn't just trying to be you know, eligible,
Right.
going to school for eligibility, just
Yeah.
staying eligible to run. Man, dope. All right. So it sounds like Mississippi State got it as the school that you learned the most about yourself. All right.
Mhm.
Who got it? Mississippi State, Tennessee State, or Lipscomb? Which learning experience do you feel is more responsible for the person that you've become today?
I think Tennessee State, and I say that because when I went to TSU, I went a new believer in Jesus, and I had some father wounds. And when I got there, I met a guy there who is two men in my life that I often reference as like having great impact on my life, and that's my high school track and field coach Robert Lynch, and that's the man Lee Brown at Tennessee State University, who discipled me, who became like a father to me. He was, I mean, at a time of my life where I needed a father figure, he stepped in, and man, he walked with me through some hard seasons, helped me navigate different things, and just showed me how to love a wife,
Mm,
because I saw him love his wife,
mm-hmm,
how to love your children, because I saw him love his children, even though at that time I didn't have a wife.
mm-hmm.
I didn't have kids, but he modeled something that is like one day I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so I think it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about the importance of influence, the importance of having father figures, spiritual fathers in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Tennessee State for sure.
So Tennessee State is a place where Isaiah's felt has been most responsible for the person he's become today. All right, a couple more. Who got it? MSU, TSU, or Lipscomb? During your years there, at
Mm.
which university did you learn the most about the world and other people?
Now, this is where I feel like Lipscomb, because I went to Lipscomb, I got a seminary degree there. And when I went to Lipscomb, I was like, my faith had been nurtured through the ministry of FCA, which is not necessarily like a teaching ministry.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to learn a lot about sin and what that meant and what that looked like in the world, um, about redemption. I learned a lot about the world going to Lipscomb, being kind of formed through other believers, engaging with scripture, engaging with different textbooks that we were reading. So I think, yeah, in that way, it was nurturing, sort of helping me mature in the faith
Mm-hmm.
and establishing a biblical worldview. I would say a worldview, but it also helped me see the brokenness in the world and what the Lord was calling me, how the Lord was calling me to be um, within the ministry of reconciliation, as Paul would say.
Mm-hmm.
So not only seeing the brokenness in the world, but my part and how the Lord was inviting me to show up in the world as a believer. And so, and it helped me see in a lot of ways that my life was a part of God's bigger story. The biggest story that God is telling. That my life was a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So Lipscomb is the place that you felt you learned the most about the world and other people. All
Mm-hmm.
right, last one. Last one. Who got it? Tennessee State, Mississippi State, or Lipscomb? If you could rewind the hands of time and revisit your collegiate experiences all over again, which university experience would you choose to return to in order to earn a 4-year degree?
Man, I can't. You know, that's a tough question for me to ask. Answer because man, each each play. I think a valuable part of my life where I feel like without that experience, I wouldn't be where I am today, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah.
But I will say, it was at Tennessee State where I met a father figure, a mentor, someone who discipled me. And it was at Tennessee State where I met my wife. She's my
Mm-hmm.
college sweetheart. So, Tennessee State has a very special place in my heart. And so, I wouldn't, if I can like say, I could do away with any of those experiences, I mean, it, I would have to choose having the experience at Tennessee State because one, I was connected to a very healthy community of believers who we walked together with through the ministry of FCA. And then, as I mentioned, Lee Brown played a huge part, and then my wife. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Thank you for that. I know that could have been a tough one because it's almost like you're cutting out a piece of your life to who
yeah,
you are right now.
right,
But
right, right.
it's just a reflective question to say, in other words, that question could have been, at which university do you feel was most impactful to your life today?
Mm-hmm.
You learned a lot at Lipscomb. You got some great experiences at Mississippi State, but your life kind of started taking shape as
Right.
Isaiah Marshall, the man, Isaiah Marshall, the father, Isaiah Marshall, the husband,
Yeah,
Isaiah Marshall, the leader, started sounding like it started taking shape at Tennessee State University.
for sure. Yeah.
That's dope, man. Thank you very much. You survived around, my brother.
Let's go.
Great words and great work. Thank you for taking this ride and this journey with us on the segment of Who Got It.
Yes, sir.
All right.